I'm doing this thing where I try to do 25 new things that I haven't done before I turn 25 this year. And as of right now, I only have the summer, which is like 3 months. I'm getting started. One of these things is going to be a solo camping trip. It's going to be a big one. It's just going to be one overnight, paddle in, paddle out. Super easy, but I should still get prepared because this is going to be my first time by myself. I'm excited. I have already chosen where I'm gonna go. My criteria was that it can't be too far of a drive from where I live. I'd like it to be relatively close because I don't want to be in the middle of nowhere. But it also needs to have like backcountry paddle in, paddle out campsites. There wasn't much option with that. I ended up going with Kawartha Highlands, specifically Bottle Lake. I chose Site 102, which is only like a 10 or 15 minute paddle from the put-in. But, you know, I don't want to be putting myself right into the deep end. So I figure one night, a site really close to the parking lot so I can dip if I need to. And I won't be as scared as wildlife because I know that it's a pretty cottagey area and it's very popular and people frequent there a lot. So hopefully I'm not going to be scared of bears. No, I still will be. I'll still be scared of bears. That's what I have booked right now. When I was booking, I wanted 2 nights, but someone swooped in there and got one of the nights. So I only have 1 night as of right now, but I'm going to keep looking and see if maybe that second night pops up. I want to keep my options open. That way I can decide if weather's bad or maybe I'm really having fun and I want to stay the second night. So, site check. I can't tell whether I'm underestimating myself or not. In theory, 1 night, like really close to the put-in, I can do that, right? I'm the type of person who just thinks I'm invincible, and I know things are hard. It doesn't register in my brain that I'll like practice things in order to do certain things. I could probably convince myself that I could go to like Temagami for like a month and be completely okay. But realistically, if I could do that, then why doesn't everybody do that? I did tell my friend the other week that I could bike across Canada with no training or practice with my little in-town bike. I've since reflected and realized that was probably a ridiculous statement to make. However, part of me does believe that. I don't know what that says about me, but it's probably not something good. At the same time, am I underestimating myself thinking that I need to start with 1 night with a very easy paddle? I don't think I can go wrong doing something small for my first time. Because I can go again. I can go back. This isn't my first and last time. This is just the first time ever. So yeah, this is a good place to start. Right now I'm looking at my options for sites that I can choose to do a second night. And it looks like I can either choose between staying at the same site, 102 for both nights, or doing my first night at a lake that's a little further in of a paddle on the first night, and then coming out and staying at site 102 on the second night. 102 is on Bottle Lake, and then the second site, I think it's called Sucker Lake. Hardly know her. It's on Sucker Lake, which is just a little bit more in. It's not much of a paddle, I imagine, like maybe an hour. The problem with that is I don't know if I'm going to want to paddle further on the first night, especially if the weather's bad or it's windy. And am I going to want to paddle back a little bit farther the next day to get back to site 102 on the second day if I choose doing different sites? Because what if it's windy? Even though it would be nice getting a change of scenery and maybe like exploring the lakes a little more, I think it just might be a little bit too much of a hassle getting up and moving just for 2 nights, especially since I'm not doing a trip that like involves going around and like looping back. I'm just going there and out. It seems kind of redundant to make myself pack up and move. There is no problem with staying at Site 102 for 2 nights. I feel like I'm not getting enough out of the trip and, you know, testing myself to see if I can set up and pack up and move. But I can explore during the day. What's stopping me from exploring during the day? If it's such a short paddle to the other lake, then I can go check it out while I'm there. Like, there's no rush. There's no expectation of me to keep it moving. It can be relaxing, and I feel I need to remind myself of that. I don't always need to be testing and challenging myself. I can also just do things to enjoy them. So I've just about packed all the clothing that I'm going to bring, and this is a quick rundown. Swimsuits, I've got about 4. That's probably a bit excessive, but I'm planning on swimming at least once a day, if the weather allows. I've got various bottoms, mixed between like comfy shorts and quick dry shorts, and also a skirt, of course. These are tops. I figured I'm going to be exploring during the day, going through Long Brush. I don't want to maximize my tick exposure. I think long pants are always a safe bet. A flannel for at night by the campfire, a long sleeve smart wool for at night, and a pullover fleece, which I don't have at the moment. I'm really not a light packer, and this forces me to try to be. It's still not as light as it could be. This is pretty conservative for me. This isn't like a big trek, so I'm not worried about carrying an extra couple pounds. Just to have a cute outfit and to have options. I might take that back. I checked the weather. It's gonna be 30 degrees and sunny. How freaking perfect is that? Although it's not perfect if it's very buggy and I don't want to be wearing shorts or little clothing. I'm not going to enjoy having to layer up in that heat if I'm being eaten alive by bugs. But if the bugs aren't really feasting on me, then it's going to be great. So next up is packing food, packing gear, laminating map. And then after that, I'm good to go. Those are the majority of my tasks. I am pushing it a little bit to the last minute. It's currently Thursday and I'm leaving on Monday, so I better get to it. The other day, we had a big storm and it was like a tornado watch for the whole area that I live in and also where I'm going to be camping in a couple days. Kind of gave me a kick in the pants. I realized that as much as I think that I'm ready for all this like outdoor stuff, I really don't know anything. And I feel like I'm going in pretty unprepared in the knowledge aspect anyways. I watch all these guys and gals on YouTube who make it look doable, but that's because they have the skill set and the experience and the knowledge about what they're doing and what they're getting into. Whereas I don't even know how to freaking tie knots. And that's kind of outdoors 101, isn't it? There's so many things that are out of my control that I don't know if I'm ready to deal with, especially by myself. Really, all it does is give me something to worry about on top of the bears. I'm not worried as much about bears as I am about a tornado. I looked it up after I was curious about what I would do in a tornado. I would just find a ditch, find some low ground. I don't know if there's low ground where I'm going. So then I started thinking about all the ways that I would hide from a tornado. One being find a base of a good thick tree. I looked it up. It said maple, oak, beech trees. Pine trees break apparently very easily. I'd go under my canoe at the base of a tree. That way if it falls, the canoe will kind of protect me, or it will snap and impale me. And then I thought, how about I tie myself kind of like this. Oh, maybe I couldn't do that. Like this around the base of a tree. And I tie my hands kind of to my legs. That way, well, I guess a tree could still fall on me, but I won't be blown away. What are the chances that another tree falling is going to come that close to that tree? I mean, I guess that tree could snap, but I'd be protected because I'm so low to the ground. I thought about, what if I just lie low in my canoe on the water while it's attached to a tree on shore? But then, like, what if there's a water spout and the tornado's on the lake? I wouldn't be in Kansas anymore. Now it's like, now I gotta be worried about tornadoes and bears. I can't tell the line between being brave and courageous and doing what you want to do and just being like foolish and irresponsible. Because I don't want to be putting myself in a situation that I'm not ready for. But then I also don't want to be stuck in this state of preparation that I don't feel like you're ever gonna feel prepared enough to do something. At some point you're just gonna have to say, well, the experience will teach me what I need to know, because really, like, you can never know what's gonna happen for anything. I should be a little bit more equipped, or at least experienced, in the sense of having gone out in the canoe by myself at all, like once. I've never been canoeing by myself, not even for like a day trip. I feel like I could keep myself safe. Should I? Is it stupid? Am I being stupid? Am I overestimating myself? Is it not as easy as I think it's gonna be? Cut my map. On the positive side of things though, this is as safe of an environment that I'm going to that I could get. I'm not doing a 10-night trip in the middle of Timbuktu. I'm gonna be close to civilization. I'm like a 5-minute paddle away from the put-in. If I go anywhere being stupid, I can be stupid here. Hello? I just flew for the first time in my life back in April, and that was terrifying to me because the thing that scares me is once I get on the plane, that's it. Like, it either goes down or it doesn't. There's no getting off. There's no like, oh, sorry, actually, never mind. I'd rather not. And that's what it feels like being in a backcountry campsite during a tornado. It's like, what am I gonna do? I can't paddle anywhere. I've got to see this through. I've got to just wait it out and see what happens. The weather's not calling for a tornado so far, but it's gonna be the hottest temperature-wise that it has been all year so far, which is a great recipe for tornadoes. I'm just tired of watching people do the things that I want to do too. But my problem is I don't believe in baby steps. I don't believe in instructions. I'm the type of person who's just like, let's go all in or not do it at all, which I think may potentially get me in some trouble. Hi, it's Editing Jenna here. I'm realizing now that apparently in my crunch for time, I abandoned this prep vlog, so I do not have meals to show you. But here's a glimpse of what I brought with me in my pack. I'm planning on doing a video about what I brought and what I'd leave behind for next time, because remember when I said this? This isn't like a big trek, so I'm not worried about carrying an extra couple pounds. Just to have a cute outfit. Yeah, well, that was definitely some foreshadowing, and I do take it back. It ended up being 75 pounds with my clothes, which was completely unnecessarily burdensome for the length of my trip, and I am not interested in putting myself through that again. It's pretty funny watching this back and seeing how unsure of everything I was when it ended up being so chill and casual, for the most part. I have definitely learned quite a bit since. If you made it this far, you are more than welcome to stick around if you're interested in seeing videos about what I learned from the trip, the gear, what I'm eating on trips like these. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, let's go.